Hello, Divine Feminine. This is Angel Aura Divination, and I'm here to give the Divine Feminine their Twin Flame overview. This is the reading specifically for the Divine Feminine Collective to go over their energies as a collective. But I have a whole Twin Flame spread set out in front of me, utilizing the Morgan Greer Tarot for the feminine, the Herbal Tarot for the masculine, and the Universal Tarot for the relationship between the two of you. So if you are interested in listening to the masculine's reading for any reason at all, doesn't matter, that's going to be in another video posted on my channel around the same time that I post this reading for you. This is geared towards the end of June 2021, but as energy flows, it becomes timeless, so I'm not actually interested in even explaining that any further. And then there's going to be a third reading posted as well for the relationship between you for this time period as well. So let's just get into the reading. Your cards are already set out, and I've already put them upright in front of me to kind of go over the energies with you. The first card that we have out is how you look outwardly based on the spread that I have set up for you. You look like you're in a new emotional or spiritual journey. You're opening up. When I looked at this card, when I opened up the reading to myself, I really saw you bursting out of a cocoon, you know, and it's like you're coming out of the cocoon, and it's like, it's the energy of like a bright butterfly that's first like unfurling its wings kind of vibe. You're really, you know, expressing yourself openly and giving yourself freely to others, to relationships, possibly even to new romantic or even platonic relationships. You're being more open in your own energy. You're being very giving right now, and I think it's because you see a lot of potential when it comes to your own path. And this could be about spirituality, but this could also just be about life in general or relationships in general, where you're really starting to see the potential in situations and allowing that to bloom and blossom in your life instead of preventing it from happening. You're really kind of okay, they're saying you're getting clear of like any confusion, really. And that's kind of what's probably bringing in this peaceful energy for you with the Ace of Cups. Now, this is all how you look to others. So this is what other people are seeing in you right now. They're seeing a very peaceful individual, someone who is very open to new beginnings, and somebody who's trying to get clear on their path. That's simple enough, right? So we have, for how you feel, though, internally, we have the Lovers. I think with the Lovers here that you're feeling the divine masculine energy. You're feeling that relationship. You're feeling that twin flame energy. And if that's not it, then you're just entertaining relationships right now, and that's really what's on your emotional mind. That's really what's in your heart, is that you are feeling those relationships. The Lovers card, especially in this deck, does really open up that heart chakra, heart space energy that we talk about so much on these kind of readings. And I think that this is also an energy of resurrection, so that might be something that is affecting your own journey right now as well. I get the impression that you're going to be very open to relationships in this energy. Regardless of astrology, regardless of other situations, I think you're going to be very open to communal, like community energy as well, communal energy. You're going to be more openly expressive to how you feel about others, especially if they come into your realm. I think that you're kind of opening the gate to allow situations to come into yourself. It's kind of what I'm seeing you do. When it comes to what your current mission is, or really what you're doing on your mission, you know, your soul path, whatever, we have the Seven of Swords. So there is some kind of illusion here. And I think that this illusion is kind of interesting. I actually did want to pull some more cards out to get some clarifiers. I did not get a deck for that, so let me go get a deck for that really fast. I'm going to use the Wheel of the Year Tarot for that. Let's get some clarifiers out for the Divine Feminine, right? The Wheel of the Year Tarot is just going to be my clarifier deck, because I forgot that I did that last week anyway. Let me just get it really shuffled, and then we'll get into it. I'm actually going to pull a card for the Lovers just because I want to see what that's really about, and then we'll pull some cards for the Seven of Swords as well. Okay, can I have a card for the Lovers, please? An explanation for this Lovers energy. Because, you know, the way you look is very, like, clear and open. But the way that you feel, it's kind of intricate to me. The Lovers is a very intricate card when it comes to, like, a basic, simple feeling. Oh, my. We have the Tower. We have the Five of Cups. What? This Lovers card is like, okay, so I'm kind of getting the impression that you're healing from something. The Ace of Cups and the Lovers is really talking about, you know, you're looking very open to new relationships, a new energy, right? You're connecting to your higher guidance for those things, connecting to spirit and things like that. We have the Tower and the Six. This is the Five of Cups. You're mourning something. It might even be that you're avoiding something here. Yeah, and on the bottom of the deck we have the Ten of Swords. You're avoiding something. Something is ended for you. Something that you like need to mourn. Something that you want to be upset about. Like you're in that energy of mourning, and it's almost kind of like you're avoiding it with relationships, or you're possibly even mourning a situation to open up to this twin flame union that you have for yourself. And so this might be a lot of individuals that are kind of opening up to the journey a little sooner than others. What does that mean? What I actually intended to say was that this is for people who are like opening up to the journey recently. And so it's not necessarily about sooner, but it's kind of like this might be an energy that you're coming into soon, I guess, where you're going to start mourning some of these past relationships where you've been really hurt, or where there has been spilt milk and there has been endings, there has been betrayal. And it's almost kind of like some of these karmic situations that you're in are also going to be ending for you as well, which is going to be causing you to look towards that energetic union where you're actually going to be in a matched energy with somebody around you. So that could be what you're actually, you know, in this kind of energy of self-illusion about with the Seven of Swords here. But let's get into it. What is the Seven of Swords about? And so since this is about what your current mission is, what your current path is, the Seven of Swords is kind of an indication that you're lying or you're deceiving yourself about something. And when I say what the Seven of Swords is about, we have the Empress and the Ten of Cups. Interesting. I think that the collective that I'm connecting to through this reading is actually deceiving themselves about being in a... Were you living in a reality where you were in a reunion, or where you were already in a union, and then you're realizing that that's not actually your twin flame? Because I'm kind of getting a false flame energy off of that, but I can see actually a lot of things, because how the Empress would play into the Ten of Cups is obviously, you know, she would, you know, you would think that the Empress would be one of the feminine, the major feminine in the Ten of Cups situation, right? But it's kind of it's almost kind of like saying here with the Seven of Swords, explaining the Ten of Cups, or the Ten of Cups explaining the Seven of Swords. It's almost kind of like this is you, right? The Empress. Obviously, this is you, the true divine feminine here in your life, in the situations that you enter, right? We have the Seven of Swords, though, with the explained by the Ten of Cups. So what you're actually in an illusion about somehow is that you're in an ideal family situation, or you're even like dissuading yourself from like actual true happiness that you genuinely desire, because it's kind of like you might have seen the possibility of that like stable like relationship, or that stable home life, or that family kind of vibe with the Ten of Cups, especially with this Ten of Cups, and when in reality you're meant to be standing alone in your energy right now. You're meant to be like focusing on, you know, fulfilling that divine feminine role in your own life, and really pushing forward to expand other people's consciousness around you, I guess. Which is an interesting card to show for that. Can I have a card for confirmation, though? Because that's kind of confusing. Because it's almost like backwards. Because you would think if you're in this Lover's energy that was right. But you're in the Lover's energy because you're running away from an ending. But you're in this Lover's energy because you're running away from an ending of a relationship. And now you're like, other people around you are seeing you come into like this new awareness, because I think you're starting to embody. We have the Queen of Cups here to explain which means that this is also a very standalone energy here I'm picking up on, where it's kind of like you're meant to embody the spiritual individual right now, where you're supposed to be ascending, you're supposed to be connecting to the cycles of the path of the divine feminine, right? But you've been focused on they actually said the shadow aspect of that, my guides did, where you're kind of like pushing more for this kind of divine feminine energy, where it's like you're in the supportive role in a larger situation, right? But in reality, you're supposed to be kind of standalone while you go through your spiritual awakening. And the Queen of Cups could explain the spiritual awakening, because the cups are all about spirituality and emotionality behind it, intuition and connection to your intuition through your emotions, right? So why are you in this on this path? We have the Knight of Wands. I think that this is supposed to expand your awareness and also help you connect a little bit deeper to your twin, especially if you have a twin that you feel like is far away, or possibly one that you have from a past life, because that can also kind of bring on the energy of distance between you and your twin. Interesting. Let's get some cards out for that. Why are you? What is up with the Knight of, what is the Knight of Wands? We have the Six of Wands. It's kind of, oh wow, you're walking away. Like you're in this illusion energy because you feel the energy that you're not supposed to be here with the Empress, the Queen of Cups, the Ten of Cups. Right? You're seeing that you're supposed to be a standalone energy right now, and you're kind of coming out of that illusion, that self-deception energy with the Seven of Swords, and you're stepping away from that. You might even be right now experiencing the need or the desire to travel, to go a journey, you know. And we have the Six of Wands here. The Six of Wands talks about a lot of different things, but it's celebration after a long battle, after a long journey. And so right now you're stepping out for the journey, and the purpose for that is so that you can have something to celebrate moving forward. I think right now you're really stepping into your actual aligned path. And that could be a lot of things. This could be about career especially, though. I'm kind of picking up it's either about career or it's about just your spiritual journey overall, depending on how this resonates for you. The Six of Wands is also kind of saying, though, that you're expanding your mindset a little bit. I think you might have had some self-limiting ideas about what the Divine Feminine was supposed to be like with the Seven of Swords. And I think a lot of that had to do with because you thought the Divine Feminine was supposed to be somebody who was that supportive spouse kind of vibe. But that might not be for everybody, you know? Interesting. They actually said, my guides said, you thought the Divine Feminine was supposed to be the Divine Feminine through the Divine Masculine's eyes, not through your own eyes. And so this is a mental expansion for you, kind of seeing that the journey is a little bit longer and that there is, you know, more to be done because there's more to be celebrated in the future. Interesting. Okay, so the next card up that we have is what can you be doing, or what should you be doing in your own energy right now? We have the Two of Cups. And this is actually kind of interesting because you are focused on connections with the Lovers and the Ace of Cups coming out for like how you look and how you feel. And we have the Two of Cups here, so you're in the right energy for your own path right now. I think you're focusing on these deep connections that are reciprocal. You're focusing on possibly even focusing on the relationship between you. I actually think you got this card last week. I'm just not sure where. I don't remember. I just remember this coming out in this side of the reading. And I think also, though, that this is also you kind of waking up to this part of the journey for your twin flames. For the people that resonate with that twin flame energy, I think you're kind of becoming aware of the fact that you are on that part of your own path. And so we have the next card out is what's stopping you, and we have the Four of Cups. I think you're stopping yourself. That's interesting, actually, looking at it. This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is where you're supposed to be, right? And you're pretty much there, but there's like a blockage here where you're not actually there. It's kind of like I think you believe somewhat that while you exist and you can see that you're supposed to be in reciprocal relationships, you kind of see them as illusionary here with the Four of Cups. And I don't know if and you're gonna have to see this you kind of see that the masculine is kind of an illusion for you right now. And that's an interesting way to even look at these cards. And it's preventing you from even really having gratitude for the things that you do have, the relationships that you are entertaining. And so if you're dealing with any karmic relationships right now, I also think that might be at play for you. But I also think that some of this has to do with like some idea of abundance that you have based on attachment, where it's kind of like you're attached to the idea that having multiple relationships is more important than having a divine or a spiritual relationship. And that even if you do need to be focused on your soulmate relationships, ultimately you're just trying to follow your own intuitive guidance towards situations that are going to bring an abundance for you in multiple aspects, they say. I'm not actually going to even get deeper into that, but let's get some Wheel of the Year cards out for this. So let's talk about, you know, the Divine Feminine's current journey, where they're at now. We have the Six of Cups coming out, talking about, I think you're reminiscing. I actually think that, okay, we have the Eight of Wands as well. You're getting some kind of message, or you're making some kind of decisions, or you might even be sending some kind of messages right now. I do kind of see this as you connecting to the masculine, if that's what you're interested in doing. But I also kind of get the impression that you might even be mourning over past relationships right now, with the Six of Cups coming out and the Eight of Wands coming out. You might have even communicated with people in the past or from your past, or you might be desiring doing that right now. You might even be wanting to take steps back on your own journey, as opposed to moving forward with this new energy, this new divine energy that you're supposed to be embodying, with the Empress out for you to explain that, right? We have the Four of Cups, so let's talk about the Four of Cups, about your blockages. Okay, we have Temperance and we have the King of Pentacles. Interesting. I think that it is related to abundance, like I said, with the King of Pentacles coming out to explain the Four of Cups. I also think that it is about balance and reciprocation. I think you're focused on balance and reciprocation, but you're more focused on the material aspect of that, as opposed to, or even they said the egoic aspect of that. But it's like you're focused on the material aspect of that, the 3D aspect of like what is reciprocation, as opposed to the spiritual aspect of that. You know, I think that you're really kind of focused. My overall vibe that I'm really picking up on this energy is you're focused on balance, but I think you're kind of fighting your ego right now, because I see you wanting to have this new beginning in relationships, and knowing that you have to take a spiritual journey, knowing that your path is not necessarily quote unquote the same as others, right? But then at the same time, you're fighting that, you're battling that, and you're kind of expecting it to change because of your actions. You're pushing for change because you don't want to accept the reality that you exist in when it comes to your own divine feminine path, whatever that means for you. I think a lot of it has to do with career. I think a lot of it has to do with your relationships. I think that you even feel kind of disappointed, like you know that you need to be celebrating, you know that there is something that you want to have that's going to be fruitful, but the way that you've been going about it has not necessarily proven to be what it is you thought it was going to be. Okay, so the next card out that we have is, what is your relationship to the twin flame relationship right now? We have Justice, and the card on the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. This is an interesting card combination to me. I think you're fighting the relationship. I'm actually not even going to pull any clarification, because I was feeling I wasn't supposed to. I think you're fighting the twin flame relationship because you feel like it's just a chain being pulled on right now for you. I feel like it's like you feel like it's a negative cycle. You feel like it's a toxic cycle. You might even feel like it's a sexual cycle instead of a you know, what's supposed to be spiritual or divine to many, right? I think you're defending yourself from that and focusing on the more balanced aspect of justice here. I think that you're also kind of focused on karma here with Justice being out. That's kind of an indication of what that would be for you, which is true, because I was kind of feeling that you were dealing with karmic energy. They actually are even saying that you might want to be, you want somebody to serve you in this energy. Interesting. And actually, and with the Devil, it's kind of like this is kind of causing an awakening within your twin. So, or within yourself, if you're really here for your own divine feminine and your combination of divine masculine within yourself. This is kind of causing more of an awakening within your masculine, where you start to understand that your feminine side wants these materials, wants this satisfaction in relationships, wants to be celebrated, and also wants to have something to celebrate. You know, and these desires are really leading you into this karmic energy, but also into this energy where you're feeling like you need to defend yourself. You need to pull on others, they're saying. You need to have some kind of awakening within your divine masculine, and I think you're even focusing on that right now. The devil is not necessarily a representation always of the negative aspects of the divine masculine, especially if you think of it from like a, I personally kind of keep a pagan belief about a lot of things, and I really look at the devil in a positive light when I can. And in this instance, I'm kind of feeling like the devil is also a representation of you really needing to go after finances or career and not being ashamed of that as well. Or possibly even going after sexual relationships, karmic or not, and not being ashamed of that as well. And justice is kind of like you saying, I deserve it. Interesting. So, if you're interested in listening to the Divine Masculine reading, that's going to be linked in the description below. Leave a like, leave a comment if this resonated for you. I would love it if you subscribed, and I will see you in your next reading. Oh, actually, I'll see you in the relationship reading if you do feel like you're in a twin flame relationship. Goodbye.